episode number 5. I'm so excited. In this episode, I titled it, You Can't Steer a Parked Car. 10 ways to think differently so that you can actually take action towards your goals. Most people have goals in life. We dream, we have things we want to achieve, and yet we find ourselves stuck, not knowing what to do, not knowing where to start, and we get paralyzed. And so we don't do anything. This episode will hopefully help answer some questions like, how do I take action when I don't know where to start? How do I take action when I don't feel like it? How do I take action when I don't have time? When I feel like nothing is working? When I don't know what I'm doing? Or if you ever think to yourself, well, I know I really want this, insert your goal, but why am I not working for it? Why am I not doing anything? So I want to share with you today 10 new ways of thinking that have really helped me get over my habit of procrastination, my habit of overthinking, my habit of stalling. And I'm going to tell you, I have not conquered this, but these things have helped. And so I want to share them with you today. And hopefully you'll leave with a few new tips, new strategies, new ways to think that will actually help you take action towards your goals and recognize when you are stopping yourself. Okay, we're starting. We need music. Music. What should we pick? Ooh, yep, I like this. Kind of light, cheery, happy. Oh, yep, Sex and the City. Kind of like New York-ish. I've never even seen the show. So, no. Yeah, my head is like a circus. It is a crazy place out there. But no. Boring. Yes, polka party. Yep, upbeat, happy, this is me. Yes. Welcome to the Head of Kate show, where I'm sharing with you everything that I'm thinking that I think you need to be thinking about too, related to health, fitness, wellness, productivity, just life in general. My goal is to lead my best life, and I want to help you lead your best life too. Not just live your best life, but lead your best life. And that is the goal of my podcast. So thank you for being here. Let's get into the show. Okay, so episode 5. I'm really excited for this topic. It's a topic that I am constantly learning about because it's something that I constantly struggle with. And I struggle with it in multiple areas of my life. But namely, and the ones that I'll talk about today are with my health journey and with my business journey. I really have struggled with just procrastination, overthinking, overanalyzing, analysis paralysis with things every single day. I'm constantly reading articles and reading books to help me with this. And I want to share with you today some mantras, some new ways of thinking that have really helped me get over these things and hopefully will help you too. And like I said in the intro, I am by no means cured of my procrastination habit and my overthinking, and that is still all very present. But I'm very good at recognizing now when I'm doing it, and I'm good at I shouldn't say I'm good at it, but I know I have some strategies in my back pocket now, some phrases that help me when I do realize what I'm doing and when I realize my self-sabotaging behaviors are coming out. So that is the plan for today's show. But before we get into all of that, I want to once again thank everybody for listening, tuning in, sharing, commenting, liking, tagging me on Instagram stories, sending me messages. I'm going to say it every week. I'm going to thank everybody every week because I really do appreciate every single one of you and every single comment and like and share and everything. So thank you. Remember, if you have not reviewed the show, please take time to do that on iTunes. You can go to the ratings and reviews section and write a nice comment for me and leave 5 stars. And that really helps boost it up into Apple's algorithms, however they figure that out. You can follow me on Instagram at Kate_McDee. Tag me there if you're following along, if you're listening. I love seeing those tags. And then if you're on Facebook or any other platform, just talking about it, telling people about it. If it's a topic that resonated with you, hopefully it's going to resonate with someone else and just help spread the word about the show. That is all very helpful. And then I do have my website up if you are interested in subscribing to my email list. I'm going to be really honest. I rarely send emails. I'm going to try to get better about it, but I'm basically trying to build my email list so that in case, Facebook or Instagram ever go down, at least I have a way to stay in touch with all of you. So please subscribe there as well. Okay, so let's get into today's show and today's topic. I titled the episode You Can't Steer a Parked Car, talked about what it's going to be about. The idea for this show and this topic came from this past 3 to 4 weeks when I have been diving into building my website and building my membership site and doing this podcast. And I've been diving into things that are so new and so outside of what I know how to do. And I was thinking to myself and reflecting and thinking about all the things I've accomplished in the last 3 or 4 weeks. And I was proud of myself because these are things that I didn't go into podcasting knowing how to run a podcast. I didn't start my membership site knowing how to run a membership site. I went into these things completely blind. But I knew I wanted to do them and I knew I could learn how to do them. And so I'm doing them. And that got me thinking about where my motivation has come from to do these things. Because I've thought about them for a very long time. And all of a sudden, I just started taking action one day, and the momentum from that action just completely carried me the last 4 weeks into launching a podcast, launching a membership site, revamping my website. And I am thinking to myself, where did that come from? Where did that energy and motivation come from to do that? And a lot of us, I think, have goals and have these dreams of starting a business or starting something new or starting a health journey or starting anything, whatever your goals are, starting a new career. And we stop ourselves. We get scared. We procrastinate. We don't take action. We don't know where to start. And so then we don't do anything. And we stay stuck. And then we feel resentful towards ourselves because we're stuck and we're not where we want to be. And we know we're not taking action to the place we want to be. And it's this vicious cycle of then self-loathing, playing the victim, playing the, oh my gosh, I'm so lazy, I can't believe I'm not doing that. And it leads into a bunch of negative self-talk, which does not help you want to take action. And it's just this vicious cycle. So I'm hoping today that I can share with you some ways of thinking that have really helped me. First of all, recognize when I'm stalling and not taking action, or when I'm self-sabotaging, or when I'm in this negative self-limiting beliefs, which I did talk about in episode 2. And those are all still playing out for me every single day. But how then do I take action even though I have all of those thoughts and self-limiting beliefs? How do I actually keep moving forward and keep doing the things I want to do and going towards my goals? Before I start sharing the 10 ways that have helped me with these things, I wanted to share a few resources that were very helpful and I just found very, very useful with the content that they provided. The first book is called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. That book is amazing. The other book that has really helped me is Atomic Habits by James Clear. That is a very recent book. Very practical advice for understanding that any long-term goal is really just a series of teeny tiny incremental changes in habits over long periods of time. And then Mel Robbins, I actually have not read Mel Robbins' books, but I do watch many of her YouTube videos. And she's very inspirational and motivating and helps you see where your procrastination habits come from and how she believes motivation is garbage. She's got some great videos. So those 3 resources have really helped me. So the first thing I want to talk about is reasons why we don't take action. We often have a goal that we know we want, we think we want it. We want to lose weight, we want to get healthy, we want to change our eating habits, we want to start a business, we want to change our jobs, we want to start saving money, we want to have a budget, whatever the goal is. We want these things, but that we find ourselves stuck, not knowing where to start. And like I said, you get into analysis paralysis and you just don't do anything then. And so I started reading about, well, why do I not take action? Why am I like this? Why do I not work towards this if I know I want it? And I read an article, I can't remember who it was or where it was, but her reason was, if you're not taking action, then you don't really want it. And I sat there and I thought, that's not true. I really do want this thing. I really do want to reach my goal. And I really disagreed with her, and I still do. I don't think it comes down to not wanting what you're going after. We all want to reach our goals. I believe that what truly holds us back is our fear and our self-limiting beliefs, like I talked about in episode 2. It's fear of discomfort, being uncomfortable. It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of failure. It's fear of failing again. So often we let our past experiences dictate our present choices, and it's such an easy pattern to do, and we're wired to do it. It's fear of change, fear of what others will think or what others will do. It's fear of security, like if you are scared that you're going to lose something. It's fear, it's just fear. And all those self-limiting beliefs, like thinking that you have to know everything before you actually do something. And that's what keeps you stuck in these planning and learning modes where you just keep thinking you have to plan more and learn more and plan more and learn more and perfect it until you do it. So those were the reasons that I had listed for why we don't take action. It's really just fear-based. And fear is a very real feeling, but it also is not helpful for us in today's world. Because all the things that we fear are basically things that are made up in our heads. And if we can make up all of these fearful situations, then why can't we make up situations that are the opposite? Why can't we imagine ourselves succeeding? Why can't we imagine ourselves achieving what we want to achieve? But our brain is hardwired to keep us protected, and that's what it does. Mel Robbins has a great quote. It's something along the lines of overwhelm, fear, self-doubt, etc. Those are all very normal feelings, especially when you're doing something new or doing something you've never done before. You will feel those things, so expect them, but then it's your choice if you let those feelings stop you. Another quote that just stuck with me: hesitation is the kiss of death. When you hesitate on something, fear takes over, your imagination starts to run wild with all the thoughts of what could happen, and not the positive thoughts of what could happen. Your brain will go to the negative thoughts of what could happen because it's trying to protect you, and you start to overthink and you start to think all of the what ifs. That will stop you. Hesitation will stop you. You will talk yourself out of it. Your brain will talk you out of it. Even though you want it, your subconscious will win. Your fears will win unless you're really aware of what's happening and you're really able to change your thinking so that you can actually keep moving forward, even through all of those feelings of overwhelm, fear, and self-doubt. So these are 10 mantras, 10 ways of thinking, 10 quotes that have just really stuck with me. And these are the ones that I fall back on when I find myself procrastinating, not taking action, not moving forward, feeling scared, feeling self-doubt. These really do help me. I'm going to go through them in order here. These are just random order. But the first one I wrote down was actually one that I just recently read, and it's the title of this podcast. You can't steer a parked car. And so when I apply this to my own life and my own adventures right now, when I'm feeling like I don't know what to do, it's because I'm not doing anything. And I'm stuck in planning mode. And when I'm planning and learning, I don't know where to go because you can literally plan and learn forever. And you get stuck in that and you think you're making progress and you think you're being productive. But really, if you're not sure what to do, it means you're not doing anything. And once you start doing something, then you can start steering yourself, because once you start doing, you'll start figuring out, oh, that's what I need to do next now. Oh, now I need to do this. Because as you do, the road starts to open up and you start to see what needs to be done next. I hope this is making sense. But I loved that. You can't steer a parked car. So if you feel like you don't know what to do, it's because you aren't doing anything. You need to start. Once you start something, it doesn't matter what, you just start, and you'll very quickly realize what you need to do next or what you need to learn next, so that it's just these baby steps forward. And I found that to be so true with my membership site that I'm building right now and with this podcast. Once I decided to just start, then all the next steps just kind of appeared. But I was so fearful of starting that I didn't even realize that I could do it until I just started, and I did it. And now I'm doing it. Number 2, don't quit. What is the alternative? And I often think about this one. Well, I think about this one for my business and for my health journey. And I teach this to my challengers as well in my groups. When you're feeling in the moments of like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, the self-doubt creeps in. You don't know if you should go on. You don't know if you're doing the right things. You just don't know, and you're wanting to quit. Then you have to just stop and think, okay, if I do quit, then what's the alternative? If it's a health journey, do I go back to my old habits with food? Do I go back to my old habits with inactivity? activity? Do I go back to my life when I was 50, 60 pounds heavier? Or do I just keep going? Even though I might not be perfect in all my choices every single day, but I just keep going, because the alternative would be to go back to a life that I don't want to go back to. Or if I think about it with my business endeavors, when I'm feeling like this isn't working and I'm stuck and I don't know what to do, and should I quit and should I go get a quote unquote real job? I think about what's the alternative to quitting? I go back and I get a teaching job, and that sounds dreadful to me. So I'm not quitting. So don't quit. What is the alternative? Think, what is the alternative if you actually gave up? And then hopefully you'll realize you don't want that alternative, and then you could just keep going. Number 3, there are no wrong decisions. This one really helps me when I'm feeling like I don't know what I should choose. Should I choose this one or should I choose this one? Should I choose this software or this software? Should I choose this website or this website? Should I choose A or B or A, B or C, whatever? Whatever your choices are, we tend to think that there's a right choice. And if we think about it long enough, we'll figure out which one the right choice is. That's overthinking, and overthinking will lead to hesitation. Hesitation will lead to doing nothing, and that will lead to feeling stuck, and you'll be angry at yourself for not deciding. Did you see the cycle? So knowing there is no wrong decision, because whatever decision you choose, you're going to learn from it. You're going to either learn, oh yeah, that worked for me, this works, I love it, it's great, or you're going to learn that it didn't work. And then you get to move on to the next decision, and you get to keep moving forward. The only wrong decision is not deciding at all and hesitating and feeling stuck. And so if you can be aware of when you're doing that, that's great. Awareness is what you need, because most of us don't even realize that we do it. Or we realize we're doing it, but we don't realize how detrimental it is to our progress. And once you can be aware that, oh, I'm hesitating, I'm not making a decision because I'm overthinking, I'm overanalyzing, then you're stuck in the analysis paralysis. So just make a decision, because there are no wrong decisions. So isn't that freeing? It's like, oh my gosh, there's no wrong decision. I can choose whatever I want. It's very freeing. And it helps you move forward because it stops you from being fearful, because we're always scared about making the wrong choice. There are no wrong choices. You will always learn, and learning is valuable, and learning is how you make progress. It's like the art students. There is an interesting study I read about, again, I don't know where I read these things. I wish I could credit or tell you where the study came from, but the study was done with art students, and they had 2 groups of students. One group of students were going to be graded based purely on the quantity of artwork they produced. The second group of art students was going to be graded purely on the quality of the artwork they produced. And so the 2 groups of students, went to work on creating their artwork. One group creating many pieces, because that's how they would get a good grade. And the other group spent all of their time and energy on planning and perfecting out their one piece of artwork, because it was based on quality. And what the study found was that the group that produced many pieces of art, the quantity graded group, actually produced the best quality art as well. And they found that the group that only focused on the one piece, and they spent all of their time planning and perfecting that one piece, their work wasn't that great. And the reasoning behind that is because the group that produced the quantity, they were producing over and over and over. They were constantly making mistakes and failing with every piece of artwork that they created, and they kept learning and developing their skill with every piece. Versus the other group, they didn't have any of those opportunities to learn from mistakes and learn from the actions, because they weren't taking action. They were just in the planning, learning mode the whole time, trying to perfect the one piece. Isn't that fascinating? And also, it totally makes sense. So then if we think about putting that into our own lives, it only makes sense that in order for us to get really good at something, in order for us to reach a goal and to achieve what we want to achieve, we have to just keep doing so that we can keep making mistakes, so we can keep failing, and we can keep learning. And as we do all of those things, then we are moving forward. The other thing that I want to add on about that is when you decide, when you actually make a decision, that's super empowering. And every decision you make, it gives you this boost of yes, I did it. I decided. And it can be as simple as the other night I was researching plugins for my website. And there are so many choices. Do I go with this company or do I go with this company? Do I go with this one or this one? What are the different features? And I just find myself comparing and trying to figure out what one is the best choice. So I realized I was doing it. I was wasting a lot of time doing it. And the only way I will figure out which the best plugin is if I pick one and I try it and I decide, go with that one. If it doesn't work, I'll go with another one. It's empowering. It really makes you feel like you're moving forward and making progress, because you are. Once you make a decision, you are moving forward. One last strategy for helping you make a decision. It actually helps you realize what you really want. If it's a choice between A or B, you have two choices. I read somewhere if you flip a coin, toss it up high enough, you'll know instantly which one you really want to show up when that coin lands. And that's your gut. That's your gut instinct. And so if you're ever wondering or feeling like, I don't know what I want, I don't know which choice is better, flip a coin. And in the moment that it's in the air, you'll know. You'll know what you're really truly hoping for when that coin lands, and go with that. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least you've made the decision. Okay, number 4, done is better than perfect. This one helps me. Again, when I get stuck in learning, planning mode, or when I just don't feel like doing it, whatever the task is, this phrase really helps me. And basically, it's just giving me permission to just get something done rather than trying to get it done and perfect at the same time. This one also applies to fitness. I do this often with my workouts, and I actually call it the half-ass rule. I give myself permission if I'm not feeling like doing a workout, I give myself permission to half-ass it. Basically meaning I need to do it, but I can do it at whatever level I'm feeling. And usually what happens is I start, I'm not giving it too much energy in the beginning, but I get into it. And I usually end up putting forth a lot more energy than I thought I would, and then I get it done. So done is better than perfect. Number 5, this phrase comes from Steve Jobs. He has a quote about connecting the dots. You can look it up on Google. I don't have the exact quote written down, but my shortened version is, the dots will connect. This helps me when I feel like I am not moving anywhere. I feel like what I'm doing is not helpful or useful, or I'm wasting my time, or I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. This quote keeps me in the state of mind knowing that what I'm doing now will connect with something I'm going to do later. And Steve Jobs says that you can't connect the dots looking forward, and which is what we all try to do. We try to map out, like, first I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and that's going to help me do this. And we try to map it out, and we try to see it, and we try to predict how it's going to go. And then when it doesn't go that way, then we get frustrated and then we quit. So rather than thinking that way, you have to just simply know and believe and have faith that the dots will connect somehow later on. You just don't know how or when. And that helps me just keep doing what I'm doing. And it helps me from overthinking and thinking about, oh gosh, is this helpful? Is this useful? Will this benefit me? The answer is yes. Everything I'm doing now is going to benefit me and connect to something else I'm going to be doing later. And just having that belief takes a lot of the pressure off myself. And the very cool thing is, you guys, the dots always do connect. And oh my gosh, I could do a whole nother episode on this, and maybe I will, because it is fascinating to me, and it's so unbelievable how everything I've done in my life up until this point, it all connects. It all connects to what I'm doing now. And so that even gives me more evidence and more affirmation that I just need to keep doing what I'm doing and keep doing what I love, because it all is going to keep connecting into something. Number 6, this one is very helpful when you don't feel like doing anything, when you're feeling super unmotivated. It's the power of 1. 1 is powerful, and it's not overwhelming. And you can reduce this concept as small as you need to. So I'm going to use the example of working out, and it's an easy concept to connect it to. So when you're not feeling motivated to do a workout, okay, then you need to figure out what power of 1 is going to get you to take action. Maybe you need to reduce it. Maybe you can't tell yourself to just do one workout, but maybe you need to reduce that I can do one minute something. Or maybe you reduce it, I can put on one song and I will dance and move around to one song today. That's the power of 1. Or I will do one set of push-ups. I will walk around the block once. So the power of one is that it doesn't necessarily have to be the quantity of one, but it's the concept of how are you going to reduce the friction for yourself so that you can do something, because something is always better than nothing, and doing something usually leads to doing more. So if you're not feeling your workout, all right, tell yourself you don't have to do a whole workout. Reduce it. Find the power of one that will get you to take action. Will you do 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute? Find the amount that's not overwhelming to you and that's manageable, and then do that. And I guarantee you, once you do that, you will have passed the threshold of like, I don't want to do this anymore, because now you're already doing it. And 90% of the time, you'll just keep doing it for a little bit longer, especially if it's a workout. It's like, okay, if I had the energy and the effort to put on my shoes and my clothes for 10 minutes, I'll just do another 10 minutes. Or I'll do another minute. Whatever it is, it's a brain trick, it's a hack, but it works, or it works for me. Number 7, this is for when you're feeling unmotivated, or if you feel like you have to wait till motivation hits you to do something. That will keep you stuck forever. If you are constantly waiting for yourself to feel motivated to do something, you will probably never do it, or you'll do it in spurts, you'll do it in fits. You will never feel like you're making progress. You'll never feel like you're building momentum, because motivation, as Mel Robbins says, is garbage. It doesn't exist. I guess I would disagree with her there. It does exist, but it's completely unpredictable. And you don't know when you're going to feel motivated. And oftentimes motivation will hit you and you'll be like, whoa, where did that come from? But you'll never know how long it's going to last. And so this one, number 7, is to help with that. The phrase is action first, motivation second. Maybe. You're never guaranteed that motivation is going to appear. It might appear after you take action. It might not. Whether or not it shows up, you will have taken action though. And when you take action over and over and over again, the motivation does come back. But again, you never know for how long it will last. You never know what level it will hit you at. You just have to act. Act first, motivation second, maybe. Number 8. This phrase helps me when I feel like what I'm doing isn't doing anything. And the phrase is slowly, all of a sudden. You have to believe in your invisible progress. You have to believe that what you're doing is moving you forward, even though you might not feel it or see it or think it. You have to believe that it is happening. And I'm going to use weight loss example for this one again. And this is where this concept of slowly all of a sudden, it's like you're losing weight at such a slow pace. It's frustrating, it's defeating because you don't feel like what you're doing is working and you're not seeing results, because day to day you don't see the progress. Day to day things are happening, but you don't see the physical changes until all of a sudden you look in the mirror and you're like, whoa, I can see my collarbone, or whoa, I can see my shoulder muscle. And it literally happens in one day. All of a sudden you see it. But it didn't happen in one day. It actually happened over a very long period of time. You just noticed it in that one day. But everything you did up until that point built up to that. Does that make sense? Slowly, all of a sudden, everything you're doing in your health journey, in your business journey, in your new career journey, in your finance journey, whatever journey you're on, everything you're doing is impacting your result. And slowly and all of a sudden, you're going to see it. But again, you don't know when. You don't know how long. You just have to have the trust and the faith that you are making progress. It's invisible progress day to day, but it is happening and it will show up. Number 9, this one is, how do I act if I don't know what to do? The phrase is, start before you are ready. You'll never feel ready. And even if you try to get yourself ready by planning and preparing, even when you plan and prepare, you still won't feel ready because there will still be things you need to figure out. You'll never feel ready to do anything new. So stop waiting to feel ready and just do it. Because like we said from that art research study, once you start doing, then you start realizing what you need to do. I really feel like I'm talking in circles, you guys. I hope I'm making sense. Number 10, allow yourself to be a beginner. I don't know why we lose this concept when we become adults. We think in order to do something, we have to start and be an expert right away. And I always think back to teaching and kids and how they learn, and how when they start to learn, for example, when they're learning how to read or when they're learning how to add or whatever it is, the very, very basic skills that you teach children, they're not experts right away. I mean, think about learning to read. Children start learning their letters in kindergarten and they don't become fluent, critical thinking readers really until middle school. I mean, of course, some kids are faster and slower and depends on, the child. But the point is, that is a long time kindergarten to middle school. Years of practice, years of learning strategies, day after day after day, reading every single day in school. So when we start something new as an adult, we have to know it's going to be the same exact process. It's going to take years of daily practice, daily implementation, daily effort, daily learning. And most adults, they don't want to accept that. And so when it comes to learning something new or starting a business or starting a health journey or whatever it is, we're not willing to put in the daily effort over a long period of time because we just want it now. For some reason, we think that when we are adults, we get to bypass the whole learning process. That doesn't make sense. So expect that you're going to be a beginner. It's going to take constant daily learning, daily effort, daily practice. You have to expect that it's going to take time and energy. And also then the last one I'm going to leave you with, which really it's not on my list, but I just thought of it. You'll never really get there, quote unquote, get there. Whatever journey you're on, weight loss journey, for example, you reach your goal weight. Okay, then that doesn't mean you stop doing and stop learning. Then you're at a whole new level, which requires a whole nother set of skills. And so you become a beginner again. And it's just this constant learning. So I hope that was helpful, you guys. I just want to quickly go through those 10 phrases in case you want to write them down. Number 1, you can't steer a parked car. Number 2, don't quit. What's the alternative? Number 3, there are no wrong decisions. Number 4, done is better than perfect. Number 5, the dots will connect. Number 6, one is powerful and it's not overwhelming. Number 7, action first, motivation second, maybe. Number 8, slowly, all of a sudden. Number 9, start before you are ready. Number 10, allow yourself to be a beginner. Thank you so much for listening, you guys. I hope these are helpful for you. I hope they apply to your life in some way. I think they're very applicable to just so many aspects, really whatever goals you have in life. I think we all face the fears of getting started and knowing where to start and trusting ourselves and knowing that we can actually do it and believing we can do it. And a lot of these phrases, it's just a matter of repeating them to myself over and over and over again and just reaffirming myself and teaching myself to believe in myself. I think as adults, we really forget that we need the support and the affirmation just as much as a child does when they're learning something new. So thank you so much for listening. Please share with anybody that you think would benefit from this information, or if it helped you, maybe it will help somebody else in your network. Please help me spread the word, and we will talk next time. Take care. Okay, so this is done. Now we need some exiting music. And then this is also the point. I think it's where I'm supposed to remind you to follow me, subscribe to the podcast. If you want to do any collaborations, I would love to be a guest on your show, or maybe you want to be a guest on my show, all that good stuff. So my email is Heather, and that's my dog barking. Rocco, stop it. So unprofessional. You can email me at headofkate@gmail.com. But most importantly, thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you next time.